of the finals. Everybody saying a little prayer. Everybody at the edge of their seats. Everybody biting their nails.
Action.
Anthony Espiritu gets the step on JC Intal.
Wow! This guy's smiling. He's having fun on the court.
Back play for Zion. Three-point shot for Jai. Gets it to go! Against Doug Kramer. Jeremy Cruz gets inside.
Wow.
He's unstoppable from that distance.
And he knew the help was there.
Sets up Intal. Intal with the is-to-do.
Wow. Nice move there with the left hand.
Suspense.
Who will be the hero? Who will escape with a victory in game number 1 of the finals?
Drama.
We have 4.3 seconds remaining. Everybody and his mother standing up here at the Big Dome. They go to Evangelista. Evangelista turns around.
But
Normally, in situations like these, you have a tall inbounder to make sure he gets the pass over the defender.
Here we go, folks.
it's never
Ateneo with one last play.
over
Kramer Anthony!
till it's over.
What a play! What a play for Ateneo!
What a play by Coach Norman Black! What a finish!
Oh my Lord, DJ! This was an amazing turn of events!
Comeback?
Ba't hindi ako magiging confident sa team ko? Eh dapat nga wala kami dito. Di ba? Eh nating tulos naman talaga itong team na to eh. Kahit anong mangyari. Babalik syempre. Alam mo naman itong team na to. Binubugbog. Biglang nagigising na ulit.
Conclusion?
The most important thing right now is we won the game. We're up 1-0 and we have a chance of closing it out.
Game 2.
The game that everybody's been waiting for is finally going to be played at the Big Dome. A menacing storm ripped through the city, forcing Thursday's schedule to be reset for today. But nothing will change the eagerness of the principals to get back on court. Ateneo wants to end it today, while USD wants to even things up to erase the sting of that loss in game number 1. We are here at the Araneta Coliseum for game number 2 of the finals of season 69 of the UAAP. I will hardly hear you here, Ryan Gregorio.
That's right. It's definitely a big game for these two teams. Of course, Ateneo trying to clinch it in today's ball game, while on the other hand, USD trying to live for another day.
Okay, let's talk about mindsets, Coach. Ateneo, they'd like to end it. May effect ba yung suspension of the game, yung gap? Magkaroon ba ng effect sa dalawang team na to?
Well, definitely, especially on the side of UST. After losing that game, wherein they lost by 1 point in a very close encounter, it's important for them to get their minds back. Meaning, for as long as Ateneo does not get win number 2, they still have a chance. And it's very important for them to come out really, really strong here in the opening minutes of the first quarter.
Let's take a look at a bit of history of the UAAP. You know, only 3 teams have come back from 0-1 in such a deficit to win the UAAP crown since 1994. It's interesting that UST is always part of that history, Ryan.
That's right. In 1994, of course, UST led by Dennis Espino. 1995, the tandem of Chris Cantonos and Edmond Reyes. While in 1999, of course, who can forget about the 4-point play of Dina Altuguer? Because of that, the LSU winning that crown.
5 teams have swept the UAAP finals from 1997, starting with FEU. 1998, De La Salle did it. In 2000, it was De La Salle again. FEU doing it in 2003 and 2005. So that favors Ateneo as far as history is concerned.
That's right. Of course, we're going to have a new champion here after FEU winning back-to-back rounds or winning in the 2003 and 2005. So definitely a new winner here in 2006.
And this is the only game that will matter. They want this game to be part of history. The UAAP Finals has reached Game 3 6 out of 11 times since 1994. So that establishes the historical perspectives of this game. So much to talk about. We'll take a short break, but break this game down to its essentials. This is game number 2 of the finals, featuring UST against Ateneo. Okay, the interesting part of life is that even we can't hear each other here, but let's take a look at your checklist for UST, what they have to do to win this ball game.
Well, for number 1, mental toughness. Forget about game 1 and move on. I know it's easier said than done for these troops of Coach Pedro Arencio, but it's very important for them to think that they still have a chance. For as long as Ateneo does not get win number 2, they still have a chance. The other one, score inside, get high percentage baskets. Of course, I'm talking about Jervy Cruz, Evangelista, even Doncil, who just shot 2 out of 12 from the field. He has to look and go for high percentage shots for UST to have a chance in this ball game.
Okay, Pedro Arencio is all pumped up, obviously. On the other side of the floor, what does Norman Black and his crew have to do? They have been concerned about rebounding.
That's right. They have to control the rebounds. In as much as they lost in game 1 in the rebounding department, 45-40, somehow they were able to escape. But rebounding, scoring in transition are 2 major points for Coach Norman Black. The other one, perimeter shooters must be on target. Guys like Chu exploded for 12 points. Jai Reyes, who had 10 points. Maki Escalona, it's important for them to shoot from the perimeter so that JC Intal can penetrate hard and score on penetrations.
And there is still so much to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. But the coaches, the players, the fans, everybody's just about ready to get this game going. Game number 2 of the finals, featuring UST and Ateneo here in season 69 of the UAAP.
They go to Evangelista. Evangelista turns around. Oh! 1 second to play. 1 more second to play.
What a shot!
Alan Evangelista. Ateneo with 1 last play. They go to Ted Kramer underneath. Oh, wow! What a play! What a play for Ateneo!
What a play by Coach Norman Black!
I cannot believe how this turned out.
And just about ready to get going with game number 2. The finals, deciding lineup for UST. some familiar names for the Tigers.
That's right. Of course, Kuwan Calas, Cruz, and Evangelista. Of course, Jojo Duncil, who did not have a good field goal shooting percentage in game one, obviously will try his best to come up with a better shooting percentage today.
Starting lineup of the Blue Eagles already being introduced. And we had them ahead of time, of course. More or less standard issue for Norman Black, except for the fact that he will be working with Ford Arrow. He usually starts with Al Husseini. He has Arrow starting up here today.
That's right. For, of course, scouting purposes, Coach Norman coming off with a different guy to guard Jervy Cruz. So Ford Arrow has his hands full in trying to minimize at least the options of Jervy Cruz, not just scoring-wise, but also on the offensive rebounding end.
That seems to be the edge UST has had in all the games that they played against the Blue Eagles. And the referees are Pascual, Tolentino, and Cabillas. We are underway with game number 2. And the first touch of the ball belongs to the Blue Eagles. Escalona with a rush. Kramer misses the shot. Here's Cohen. He'll try to set up the table. What you like about UST is they try to play the percentages. They'll try to slow it down. It favors them. When they're in a running game with the Blue Eagles, they're at a problem situation, while Evangelista still feeling good, knocking in the first basket of the game.
It's very important, like what I mentioned earlier, for the perimeter shots also of UST to fall in, because outside shots like that will always result to long rebounds. So Ateneo will have a lot of chances to score in transition if UST misses those shots.
JC Intel scheme from three-point distance rattles out. Here comes UST already with the first 2 points of the ball game. Jam-packed Araneta Coliseum. Here's Japskuan trying to penetrate. This is downstairs. The short stab won't work. Japskuan has a hand on it, but the whistle interrupts play.
Foul will be called against Chris Chu. The first personal foul on Chris, and also the first team foul for the Ateneo de Manila University.
Makakala niyo mga kaibigan, galit ako kay Ryan kanina. Hindi po, kasi maingay lang po talaga. Ganon lang talaga. Kay Leah Cruz, hindi ko kami nagagalit. Let's send it to her.
Thank you, Seth. Today's game plan for the Blue Eagles is no different from the game plan that they have been implementing all season long. They want to push the ball on every single opportunity. They want to play as a team and make that extra pass to the open man, because as they learned last Sunday, as we all learned last Sunday, games may even be won in the very last second. Father Ben Nebres was in the dugout before the game, and he urged the boys to give everything today. Last Sunday's buzzer-beating winning shot was nothing short of expected. In addition, Coach Norman Black egged them on, saying that today it's either us or them. So for 40 minutes, it is war. Back to you, Seb.
Thanks a lot, Liam. In the meantime, Ateneo has its first basket courtesy of Doug Kramer. There is a foul by Canlas. And watch this again. Kramer inviting the contact, and he has just developed and blossomed in that low post position.
Yes, he scores so well inside the paint. His percentage is definitely high this season, and his confidence level, of course, is going to be oozing here in this ball game after that game-winning basket that he scored in game 1.
He has a streamer out there saying, "Fly high, big dog." In the meantime, here's UST already with the early lead. Cruz handoff to Duncil, a little too strong, and Kramer snares it. Here's Intal with that familiar gait of his. The short shot will go. That's a foul as well.
JC is definitely the best fast break finisher here in this season's UAAP. And you just can't have a lot of opportunities for JC to score with a foul to boot. So there, nobody to make that ball stop. Another and one opportunity here for Ateneo.
And while Intal shoots the free throw of the first foul of Cruz, Donald Yabres will tell us about UST.
It's just the usual atmosphere all over the UST Growling Tigers, Seb. And I guess it's because the UST Growling Tigers bagged the championship earlier, which made them more inspired to win today. You know what? The Tigers have moved from the very disappointing game previously over at the day. Generally, they were all just having fun and joking around. I can see genuine smiles in their faces too. Plus, they never mentioned anything about the previous game. According to the coaches, during their semi-hard practices, the focus went on motivating the Tigers. Earlier this morning, the team, together with the rest of the Damascus community, heard mass before going to a motorcade to Araneta. Back to you, Seb.
Thanks a lot, Donna. There's a shot by Duncil. That's an air ball. Japskuan trying to to put it back in. Nothing. And Ateneo's offense beginning to hum because they're in front 7-4. Kramer close range. And UST falling apart here in the early goings.
Only 2 guys have scored here for the Ateneo de Manila University. Pretty much the same refrain as game 1, wherein only 2 guys scored in the payoff quarter. Doug Kramer scoring 5 here, while JC Intal accounting for 4 of the 9 points of the Blue Eagles.
Turnaround shot trickles in. Evangelista, just a tough hombre, refuses to be faced by the blue and white. Chris Chu may have been clipped on the arm, and maybe rightfully so. It happens in front of the Ateneo bench, and they were yelling for a foul.
That's right. Obviously, there was an arm there. If you take a look at Evangelista, his 6th point here in this ball game, scoring all the 6 points for the USC Growling Tigers. While on the other hand, while in transition, obviously this Ateneo team is not waiting for the defense to set. They're attacking at every opportunity. Unfortunately for Chris Tew, he missed his first free throw.
What's going on in the minds of the players here, Coach? You've been in the big games like this. What are they thinking of? All their friends, family, and classmates are here. What's in their minds today?
Well, the worst thing right now that they can think about is the rewards and the celebration, because the game is played 40 minutes, so every possession really counts. I know Coach Norman Black. He's been in this situation before, 10 championships in the pros. Of course, he knows what to say and he knows how to motivate his players. While on the other side, itong si Coach Pido Horencio, he's just a fighter. Yung bravado niya, na-translate niya dito sa kanyang kupunan at na-embrace din yung ganitong philosophy niya. So itong players from UST, if they still have a chance today, they'll definitely make full use out of it.
Juan trying to be patient about setting the UST table, something they've done all season long. Evangelista with a good curl. Kramer takes it away from UST. Here's Escalona looking ahead. Escalona sees a bit of a gap, penetrates, ends up with nothing. It will be retained by the blue and white. Early offense by Escalona saw a bit of a gap, tried to fill it up. And by the way, in both campuses, in Ateneo and UST, I know both campuses have been hit by Milenio, but they have decided to put up big screens in various parts of their universities, like in the grade school of Ateneo, and the big screen on UST. Good afternoon to all of you. In the meantime, Cruz goes downstairs.
Great pass there by Japs Kruan. And of course, every time Jervy Cruz gets that ball underneath, count 2 points for this big guy.
And I understand also at the Rockwell campus of Ateneo, there is a big screen there. Good afternoon to all of you. Intal to Kramer, who goes up with nothing. Opportunity for UST to inch in closer. Here's Dunsil, confronted by Chris Tew. And wisely, they decide to slow it down, which always favors UST. Penetration will not work in a whistle. That's the first foul on Kramer, the second team foul of Ateneo. UST has 3 team fouls already.
Timeout, Ateneo Blue Eagles.
Blue Eagles ahead by 3, request a timeout with 5:47 to go. This is the game 2 of the finals of the UAAP for season 69. You know, 4 years ago, JC Intal, Doug Kramer, and Maki Escalona were part of the last Ateneo team to win a title. And I'm sure in their minds they'd want nothing more than to win one more before they say bye-bye to the Loyola campus.
They definitely displayed tremendous basketball in game 1, especially in the 4th quarter. JC Intal, 10 of his 21 in the 4th, while Doug Kramer, 6 of his 14. Of course, these are the same 2 guys that Coach Norman Black is expecting to carry the scoring cudgels here for his team in game 2.
Senator Mar Rojas, of course, and our colleague Corina Sanchez. Mar used to be the manager of the Ateneo junior basketball team, and so he knows his stuff. Ikikwento naman ni Corina yung balita tungkol dito. But I heard Corina on the radio. She was analyzing the game. She did a marvelous job. In the meantime, downstairs we go. Kramer. Dog is being very aggressive, taking it strong, but here comes UST. Look at Dunsil, all fired up. You remember the image of him weeping over that loss in game number 1, and you know that Dunsil was going to come back. And a foul has just been whistled. I think they'll give it to Arau, his first.
Coming from the weak side, trying to block the shot of Jervy Cruz. foul will be whistled against Ford. It's just the first personal foul against Ford Arrow. 2 free throws will be given to Jervy.
Give me your scouting report. You've been a scout for a long time before you're head coach. Your scouting report on Jervy Cruz. What's your read on him?
Well, Jervy has great footwork. He knows how to move inside. He knows how to elude the defense. Even if he does not really jump so high, the important thing is he knows how to read the defensive legs of his opponent. That's why he scores a lot of his baskets inside the paint. If there's one chink in his armor right now, it's definitely his free throw shooting. But other aspects in the ball game, remember, this is just the rookie season of Jervy Cruz, and the improvement will definitely be sky high for this fellow.
Of course, it's interesting to listen to your analysis, having coached Alvin Patrimonio, because some comparisons are already being made with the captain, of course. In the meantime, Escalona, that's a near turnover, but the referee part of the court, but he declares it outside. It's 11-9. Go ahead, please.
Well, we have to see whether the referee was really outside. So if he's outside, he's an extension of that ball. But if he's inside, it has to be fair play or good play.
Okay. In the meantime, James Cohen continues to do what UST plans to do. Really set it up. Cohen, who has been a bit of gun shy, that's the lacking thing in his game. A reliable shot from the outside. Here's the penetration. This is what UST does not want Ateneo to be running.
That's right. I mentioned earlier in my checklist, scoring side gay high percentage shots. The reason being is that if they take bad shots, it's actually long rebounds. Ateneo will always zoom in and score in fast breaks, as what we saw earlier in that Escalona finish.
And last with a quick release, and this guy can burn you. And last finding a way to score. That's Mark Canlas, making it 13-11. Arrow, Chris Chu spots Escalona open. What a pass.
Escalona definitely has blossomed into a fine point guard here. Not just his assist ability has improved, but also his movement without the ball. We saw that wide open inside the paint basket for Mac Escalona. 4 points here in this first quarter.
Same number for Intel. Leading scorer is Kramer with 5. Here goes Duncil against 2 Ateneo players. The shot from the wing is short. Kramer picks up that rebound. It's his 6th rebound of the first quarter. Here's Chris Chu. Thought about it. The give and go for Intal. Misfires. It goes through the fingers of Intal. Here goes Kwan. Slows it down. Goes to the wing. The open shot. Not quite. Rebound. No blue shirts. It's all Cruz. The inside. Evangelista. Nothing. Ateneo lucky to get those misses.
That's right. Point blank missed shots by the UST Growling Tigers there in that possession.
15-11 count. Here's Chris Chu being hounded by Duncil. Chris Chu trying to break loose. Bordaro can't find the ball. Here's Escalona. Shot clock coming down to 6. Escalona whips it to the side. Chris Chu knows there's trouble. In the meantime, that's lost. It's in the hands of Barrow. Goes up with nothing, but he is fouled. And Ateneo gets a break.
Chris Chu hoping that the foul would be called earlier on his incursion, but it was a let-go play. Coach Norman still arguing that non-call.
As we check out our Cannon Power shot fast break. We are live, by the way, on Studio 23. Those people who have been affected by the storm over the last 2 days, we hope you are okay. Oh boy, such gusty winds. I was caught in Ayala, actually.
That's right.
We are live on TFC, by the way, and we do hope you're able to get us wherever you are in our great nation. Arau is on the line. Ateneo so far 3 of 5 from the free throw line.
Oh, this is a big bonus for Coach Norman. Ford Arau did not score in game 1.
And of course, Dennis Espino, we have Patrick Fran. You have to update me.
That's Richard Yee, Shotty Tangkinsen, Ray Evangelista. These are the legends.
Do I see Coach Arik Del Rosario walking a little bit?
Should be somewhere here.
Of course, we have had a lively discussion. Of course, is that Binky?
That's right.
That's Binky Pabius, who was an assistant during those years, the big years of UST. We had a lively discussion with Mosong Castillo.
Oh, yes.
Of the inquirer about the championship years of UST. In the meantime, an offensive foul whistled against UST. 3 minutes to go, and so far the starting lineup of Ateneo has all produced. We've got Martin Kimson already on the floor, coming in for Ford Arau just a few moments ago. Chris Chu trying to break loose as a crawler refuses to trickle in. Here comes Cortez. He slows it down. Evangelista up against Intal. And a foul downstairs. Kimson.
First personal against Martin Kimson. Again, is the second guy tasked to defend Jerby Cruz. I thought Ford Arrow did a fine job in guarding Jerby Cruz earlier. Jerby accounting for only 2 points here thus far.
In the meantime, it's UST's turn to ask for a ceasefire. The Blue Eagles have a 6-point lead, 2:41 remaining. This is the UAAP finale. Alan Evangelista attacked but could not score. In the meantime, Maki Escalona has been called for the offensive foul. His first, and Al Husseini is in the game for the first time. And we saw Coach Leo Austria just pass by us and say hi. His son was the MVP of the juniors. And the Ateneo winning the junior plum 69-61 against FPU earlier. 17-11, 6-point lead by the Blue Eagles here in the first quarter. Espiritu launches. Yes, a beauty, a three.
That's a big shot. Ateneo has been doing the zone since the opening minute of here in the first quarter. And finally a shot from beyond the arc by Espiritu. Of course, we all know that he can definitely hit it big from the outside.
Escalona, Jai Reyes, who just has the ability to cluster points together in 17 minutes of action, had 10 points, 4 of 9, and 2 assists in game number 1. Here's Espiritu. You like the way UST is pounding it inside, challenging Ateneo's big men.
That's right, especially in a zone. You cannot fall into the trap of just shooting from the outside. Time and again, you have to make it big or score inside the paint.
Jai Reyes with 2 straight misses. Intel dishes off Escalona and a foul downstairs. Is it on Al Husseini? Yes. We're going to check out a 3-point shot delivered earlier, presented by Sun Cellular, better network, better value. 3 coming from Anthony Espiritu. And in the meantime, a change in the UST lineup. We've got Ababu checking in. That's Dylan Ababu coming in for the first time. And we also have Dizon giving Cruz a breather here. So do coaches really make this change in the last 2 minutes? I noticed doon ang palitan talaga ng tao.
That's right. Actually, para yan sa mga makapahinga, yung mga key players ng bahagya. Get this 1 minute of action here in the first quarter, plus a little few minutes in between quarters. We're gonna have a better rested player going into the second quarter.
Dizon putting up an awkward shot, but it is still 2 points, and that's the beauty of it. Cuts down the Ateneo lead by to 1, that is. Reyes zips it over to Escalona, who's trying to waltz in the box. Traffic inside. There's a hook shot by Al Husseini. He is clipped. Chester Taylor reaching for the sky, guilty of his first foul, but already UST in the penalty with 16 fouls. Same boat for Ateneo.
Escalona is just a very heady player. They really tried to break the defense and create scoring opportunities. He is one of the reasons why the numbers of Al Hussein and even Doug Kramer have increased here in this season, because they're always recipients of a nice and nifty passes from Maki Escalona.
Saka siguro sa practice, pinagagalitan ni Maki, as we have Senator Jinggoy Estrada in the audience. Pinapagalitan ni Maki. Pag kayo hindi nyo sinut yan. And we have Senator Dick Gordon here also. Al Husseini taking care of the second free throw, and that's Wesley Gonzalez and L.A. Tenorio, of course. Wonder if they're wishing that you were still playing in this league. I'm sure they're happy where they are right now. L.A. starts his career tomorrow, although his team not playing. In the meantime, there's an open shot, a three, yes!
That will give a little cause of concern for Coach Norman Black. 2 3-point shots already for Espiritu. Now, if you're playing the zone, you have to at least mark the shooters from the outside, and obviously Espiritu has been getting good shots from beyond the 3-point area.
Anthony Espiritu with his second rainbow connection, giving UST its 3rd taste of the lead. The last time they led was at 4-0. Watch this. Sun Cellular, better network, better value 3. Anthony Espirito knocking that in, but on the ensuing play, we have a foul whistled against UST, and Jai Reyes is on the strike. Yes, Robert Revellero and Barbara Perez. Robert, of course, an Ateneo fan, and two of the greatest, best actors in the Philippines, no question about it. Niloloko nila ako. If I even say that I know that Barbara Perez almost made a movie with the Americans. It's I think Mikey Romero.
That's right, that's right.
Of Harbor Center.
Yes.
In the meantime, Ilan Ababu, glass shot. Bad inbound by Ateneo. Al Husseini scooped it, but Ateneo keeps its wits about it. And manages to escape unscathed. Although UST is in the lead by 1.
21-20 for the UST.
Let's check on our Nokia best play of the quarter. Here's that familiar Jeff Cohen whirlwind spin and a drop downstairs, and that's where UST is strongest. At the end of the first quarter, the team from España, UST ahead 21-20 against Ateneo. Underway with the second quarter, UST leading by 1, and there's a foul against Ateneo. First quarter, more or less both sides playing the tempo that they like, the way they wanted to play, following the script they followed. They sort of rehearsed over the last 3 days.
That's right, but really the change-up on defense came from Coach Norman Black. The moment Espirito hit 2 big 3-point shots in the first quarter. So right now, in the opening minutes here of the second quarter, Coach Norman is back to his man-to-man play, and that was the cue for Dizon to attack the defense of Al Husseini on a single coverage underneath the basket.
Just love it when the fans, the students, take the effort to make the streamers and the banners. Dizon, who has come off the bench and has made an impact offensively for UST already with 4 points. And UST has a 3-point lead after being down by as large as 6 when it was 17-11 in favor of the blue and white. Jai Reyes working with Laterra, Al Husseini, Kramer, and Salamat is already on the floor for Ateneo. Jai Reyes whips into Salamat. 3, if it bites, it stays out. Kramer, no basket. No basket.
Kramer was really active in trying to attack that offensive rebound, and Chester Taylor will be guilty for that loose ball foul. Just a sideline out of bounds play here for Ateneo. They're down by 3 points at the moment, 23-20. What a big surprise here for Coach Pedro Herencio. Dizon, who did not play in game 1, has exploded for 4 points here in this ball game.
Absolutely, and Chris Chu is brought in for Salamat. I think in terms of the matching up against men, I think what we've seen in the series is that the coaches are conscious of the way they're matching up against the other. Here's Jai Reyes trying to whirl around Cortez. He's hijacked. Here comes Ababu. Lead pass to Gonzalo. Dizon just exploding here.
Well, Dizon's primary task here is just give Jervy 1 minute or 2 minutes rest. But once again, this is really one thing that Coach Pedro Herencio has done this season. Yung kanyang gut feel. 6 points already for Dizon.
Dizon just giving up that foul as he switched over to Jai Reyes. First foul on Dizon. He's going to check out a cannon power shot fast break, and they ate up Jai Reyes defensively. And here go the Tigers. Donna Labres updates us about the UST Growling Tigers.
The UST Growling Tigers is actually gleanered with a lot of fans today, especially now that some players back in the 90s, when the Golden Tigers are still in, are here with us. You know what? We've been through a lot of disappointments all the year round, and today we are actually taking it as a blessing, because with these we were able to face all that's given to us. These are the words of the coaching team to us, Seb. They said they are happy that the team has gone far this season. The coaching staff isn't asking too much for the Tigers now. They just need to believe in themselves, believe is what's important. Back to you, Seb.
Absolutely. In the meantime, we had Dylan Ababu with a basket on the other side. Zion Later driving hard, plucking a foul from the USC defense. In the meantime, let's send it to Leah Cruz for an Ateneo update. Leah, you have a fans club in the stands.
Yes, I can see that, Seb. Thank you very much. Now, I have just a few reminders from the Ateneo huddle. Get your hands up and make your defense look bigger than it is. Box out and rebound. Stay focused. No silly fouls and take your time. Back to you, Seb.
Thanks a lot, Leah. Zion Later, Ateneo attempts have been in but out. You know, June Dizon, during his stint on the floor, is he still on the floor? I think he still is. Average only of 2 points, but really exploding coming off the bench. And Guido Garenche needing every player performing here today.
That's right.
2 misses from the free throw line, and UST is in front, 27-20. Here's Cortez walking it up. He looks inside. Good move downstairs by Cruz. Ababu, yes!
Offensive rebounding being displayed once again by the Growling Tigers. Not just Jervy Cruz, not just Dizon, but also Dylan Ababu coming out of nowhere to get that rebound with a foul to boot.
And Fordano committing his second foul. You can expect that in this timeout requested by Norman Black that the subject matter will be very much rebounding there.
Oh, yes.
Take a short break with this timeout. Back in a moment. USD in front by 9. Back with us here. So this was the statistical board of game number 1. Now you have to take note of the statistic in the middle, which is the rebounds. And that is the factor that probably Norman Black talked about during that last timeout.
Definitely. Especially here in the second quarter, I've seen Ababu block like 2 offensive rebounds. And this one the biggest because there was a foul. So UST enjoying its biggest lead so far. 9 points. Add another one to make it an even 10-point lead here for the Growling Tigers.
In terms of offensive caroms and offensive boards, UST total 6 off the offensive glass. Ateneo 4. In the meantime, Leah Cruz, what do you have?
Seb and Coach Ryan, you're absolutely right when you say that the rebounds, the offensive rebounds, are killing Ateneo. Coach Norman Black mentioned that we are getting killed on the boards. He wants them to grab or tap the ball when they get it, and when we get it, he wants to run in every single opportunity. He also wants to take the ball to the basket. The offensive rebounds, that's something that he stressed very much in the last huddle, just as you said.
Thanks a lot, Leah. As expected, in the meantime, Ateneo trying to run here. JC Tal Escalona just developing into being a fine passer here in the tournament.
That's right, it's good. He can really make a good pass. He can also hit from the perimeter and even from outside the arc or from even from beyond the three-point area. But what is important here for Ateneo, and I've mentioned this, they have to control the defensive rebounds because it's easy for them to score in transition once they get that leather.
You know, UST is now getting points from a variety of sources. They've got 7 from Ababu, 6 from Espiritu, 6 from Dizon, 6 from Evangelista for a total of 25. And against Ateneo's sum of 22, you know where the other 5 points are coming from. In the meantime, the coaches are playing the chess game as Sonny Cabato is here. He was holding court outside and he was analyzing the whole series, actually. Here's Intal. Oh, a three!
JC Intal really known for his penetrations and his gang-ho style and trying to break the defense. All of a sudden, pulled up for a 3.
Chris Chu's defense breaking down there. And in the meantime, it's Dylan Ababu with 9 points and 3 offensive boards.
Somebody has to guard Dylan Ababu. He's been getting a fair share from the offensive rebounding end. It might be because of JC lurking and trying to score in transition that he might be losing his sight on the defensive rebounder, trying to block out this guy Ababu. That's why Ababu has gone away with 3 offensive rebounds.
By the way, earlier today, Ken Bono of Adamson was honored as the 69th season MVP. And he got a very, very appreciative round of applause from both UST, Ateneo, and FEU fans, which I thought was very sportsmanlike and very very heartwarming.
Yes.
Because they could not deny the fact that Ken Bono, what a sterling performance, lifting his team to the Final Four for the first time. In the meantime, one more free throw coming up for Escalona. It's 32-25. UST is ahead earlier today. Ateneo winning the junior title 69-61. And in the distaff side, sa babae naman, ang nanalo ay UST 67-59. So each side has won a championship here already. Here's Jeremy Cruz. Kim Son waltzing with him. Oh, good rebound that time. Maya Babu, who goes up, and he is unstoppable, and Norman Black can't believe it.
Somebody has to put the body in front of Dylan. Ababu is just going berserk right now. Coming off the bench to score 11 big points for the Growling Tigers.
And it's a 9-point lead, and it's an offensive foul whistled against Ateneo.
Number 10, Martin Gibson, his second.
Look at what Dylan Ababu is doing. I don't think Ateneo is respecting him enough.
Well, the sides, of course, of Ateneo is trying to put the body in front of guys like Jervy Cruz and Alan Evangelista, but somehow the three-man, who happens to be Dylan Ababu, has remained or has been scot-free here in getting those offensive rebounds.
11 points by Ababu, 5 of 6, 5 boards, and 1 assist. Here's Evangelista. That will not work. Ababu fighting hard. And there's a tap by Kimson, which Norman Black wanted. Escalona in top. Oh, what a fast break by Ateneo. 4 men touching it. Intal will go up and take care of business.
Of course, here's what they like. But they have to be very, very patient, because once they get the rebound, that's the only cue for them to run in transition, because UST cannot keep in step with them as far as defending the transition is concerned. But for Ateneo, really, getting the rebound is an utmost concern for them at this point.
Intal, 11 points, 5 of 7. In the meantime, Ateneo blocking out Kramer, blocking that rebound. Kramer already with his 8th rebound of the game. Here's Escalona looking inside. Escalona says, let's set up the table, guys. Escalona driving down the baseline. Heavy traffic drive, no success. Now the rebound is taken away by Jeff Scoen. Jeff Scoen spearheading the attack. Good stop from behind, and there's a whistle. There will be a foul against Escalona, his second. And the team foul update finds Ateneo with 4, while UST has 5. And it will be a sideline inbound for the Tigers. Nice matchup here between Ababu and Intal, each with 11 points. Ababu 5 of 6, Intal 5 of 7. Ababu 5 rebounds, Intal has 4. Here's a shot that's wide open. No problem that time for Jojo Duncil, who's been aching for a basket.
That's right, only 2 of 12 from the field in game 1. This time using his one dribble step in jumper instead of just taking the shot outside. That's what they did in the first quarter. So back to 9 is the lead of the Growling Tigers.
What has been significantly taken away from the Ateneo game is the game of Chris Chu in terms of shooting from the outside.
Chris Chu is a marked man. The rule might be stay home on Chris Chu. You do not help if you are guarding Chris, so that he cannot or he will not be able to get good looks from the basket or from the outside. And that's exactly what is happening right now. Chris Chu only 2 points here. Of course, we all know that he exploded for 12 in game 1.
Usually, Chris, when you say that, he'll do something in the second half. Right. He's trying to extricate himself. The shot clock was down to 1. Kramer says hello.
And I've seen that. Kramer really aggressively attacking that offensive end again, scoring on a putback.
He will now soon be called split-second dog because he loves doing a lot of things in a matter of split seconds. Look at this. Gets that offensive board and now brings Ateneo within 7. But we've got a timeout. The excitement, the thrills, the absolute joy of college basketball back in a moment. Okay, Jojo Duncil and Chris Chu are the stars of each side, but they're in a bit of a struggle right now. Chris Chu only 2 points, while on the other hand, Duncil also 2 points, but the game is still early. These guys can explode in the second half. Oh, Duncil, hop, step, and jump. Just didn't make it. Cruz, no go, and a rebound foul will be whistled probably against the Blue Eagles.
I think I mentioned earlier, one of the strengths of Jervy Cruz, of course, is his footwork. But one thing also going his way is his nose for the ball. He just knows where the ball will drop. He knows how to position himself. He was just trying to post up earlier, so that means he was away from the basket. And once the ball was reversed, all of a sudden, he was in front of the basket. That makes him really quick on his movement. But then again, I've mentioned this earlier too, free throw shooting. Much of his baskets or much of his points are scored inside the paint. So more or less also, he gets fouled majority of the times as well. So it's very important for him to work on his free throw shooting. It's now 0 of 4 here in the first 2 quarters.
He is shooting off the second personal foul of Doug Kramer. In the meantime, Intal with a reaction. I think he got a foul. As we take a look at the ambassador from the United States to the Philippines, Her Excellency Christy A. Kenya, who's enjoying herself. She's in front of her, of course, is Mrs. Stella Araneta. And but the ambassador enjoying herself. She was awarding the prizes to the winners of the most valuable player plum, which was won by Ken Mono. In the meantime, Doug Kramer will sit down. Al Husseini is in. Free throws. Let's see how this comes in as a factor. I believe it, especially pressure cooker games, you know.
Yes, if you remember, in the first game, only 4 out of 8 for 50%. This is Jervy Cruz, and that told heavily in them because they only lost by 1 point.
There's JC Intel. Shot clock coming down to 8. JC uses the backboard. 10 minutes to go. Here comes the lead pass by Kuan. Over to Duncil. 2 waiting for him. There's a foul by Chris Chu.
Oh, bad news for Coach Norman Black.
Second foul on Chris Chu. And the penalty situation is in effect against Ateneo. And this is the way Pido Harense
is enjoying. He's obviously enjoying.
You know, our director, Abed Reaction Shot Ramos, loves doing this.
It's just nice to see Coach Pido Harense in the finals after his team being down. At one point in the first 7 games, 2 wins and 5 losses. And right now, playing his second game here as a rookie coach in this season's UAAP.
Duncil nails it and gives UST a 10-point lead with 3:10 to go. Free throw shooting in the second quarter. UST 6 of 7. Ateneo 0 of 4. Here's Chris Chu looking for Intal. Intal starts his drive. Oh! Trying to break up his groove. Slams it home.
It's just great read. He saw there was a switch. All of a sudden, Jervy was in front of him. So Jervy might be a little slower against JC, but quickly, a retaliation from Jojo Duncil.
A 3-point shot makes it 42-31. UST going to town in this first act. 2:30 remaining. Intal looking at the timepiece. He reads 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ateneo isolating Intal. The shot will not work, and the rebound foul is again somebody in blue.
So 2 free throws since it was a loose ball foul. As we take a look at JC Intal, he's a very intelligent player. While quick retaliation naman is what I've mentioned from Jojo Duncil.
Quezon Cellular, better network, better value trade. Jojo Duncil, he's a sniper. I love that line, bench decorum. Its translation, please settle down.
So loose ball foul was called against Ateneo since they're already in team penalty. 2 free throws will be given. Alan Evangelista really starting off hostilities here in the opening minutes of the first quarter, and he exploded for 6 points. Or the first 6 points for the UST Growling Tigers. He has remained scoreless here in the second quarter, but he will be given 2 free throws in this trip.
Duncil waxing hot here with 7 points, all of them happening in the second quarter. In the meantime, Johan Uchicos sees action for the first time.
I think they're checking right now who was the guilty party, trying to make sure that they're putting the right guy on the 15-foot line.
Al Husseini guilty of his 3rd foul. And now the scorer is talking to one of the officials. And look at this.
Warning for bench decorum on Ateneo Blue Eagles has been taken out. Has been nullified.
Second warning against Ateneo. The bench decorum, and Norman Black with that quizzical look of his when he is wondering, what are you calling? Now they're trying to sort out who will shoot the free throws here.
So Alan Evangelista thought that he was the one who was fouled. He beat Jervy Cruz on the way to that 15-foot line, obviously because Jervy might not be so confident taking those shots from the 15-foot line. And finally, the shot trickles in. Jervy already with 4 points here in this ball game. Not the usual numbers from Jervy, but it's 2 out of 5 from the free throw line.
And look at this, UST jumping out now to its biggest lead of 13 with 2:14 to go. UST hoping to tie up the series today to send it to a decider come Monday. Ateneo can't get its three-point shooters going. Salamat traveling.
So the defense has definitely tightened here for the Santo Tomas Growling Tigers as Coach Norman Black trying to look for an antidote. JC cannot have his penetrations open because there's always an outside defender present here for the UST team. And right now, UST in possession.
Almost in. And UST now outscoring Ateneo 23-11, a minute and 40 remaining. Here comes Intal trying to bring it across. But there with a running screen into the hands of Jai Reyes. Jai Reyes does not force the issue. Intal wants it back but can't get it. So now finally gets it back. Fires a three, got it.
Almost on the same spot. Second three-pointer here for JC Intal again. It's important for Ateneo to shoot well from the perimeter so that when the defense already rushes out on them, they can now use their strength, which is really penetrations and inside incursions.
Evangelista shopping around. Here's Japskua. Drive and draw. Sends it to Evangelista, who will nail it from the outside.
Parang nangyari na rin yung tirang yun. First quarter.
And Evangelista has always been known as an outside shooter. Just adjusting his game this year. And a foul against Evangelista. JC Intal, 18 minutes rather, 16.7 of the 11 from the field. And JC Intal just trying to perk up his team with a variety of ways, like with the Sun Cellular Better Network, Better Value 3. He also had a slam dunk earlier.
But somebody else should score. It just can't be JC, even if JC has scored almost 50% of the total output of Ateneo. They're down by 12 points. So Jai Reyes, the guy who exploded for 10 points in Game 1, should start scoring here. And finally, he nails one from the 15-foot line.
Chatres, his uncle, watching on. And I'm kidding both of them. They have the same shooting form from the free throw line.
But Jai, you think he can shoot well from better from the three, or Coach Trot also can shoot?
Yeah, he can shoot
well
from the three. Oh. In the meantime, well, I'm sure Trot has a better golf swing than Jai. Spirito, three, wild. Jervy, yes, and fouled as well.
At this point, the reason why Coach Norman Black is trying to put different defenders against Jervy is not really for that guy to get defensive rebounds, but more so to block out and push out Jervy Cruz from inside the paint. Unfortunately, nobody has been so effective, probably in the first quarter, few minutes before the arrow, but at this point, really, it is not the concern of the guy guarding Jervy Cruz to get the rebound, Seb. It is really his concern to push out and stop Jervy from getting offensive boards.
Cruz unable to nail the free throw, and in the mind of Norman Black, I'm seeing him right now, he's thinking already of his halftime speech.
Right. Which will include definitely
rebounding, and all those important little things as Jai Reyes uncorks. Wild shot. Timing out for one final beam at the basket by UST. Here's Spiritu. Up and out. Rebound contested. And with 5.6 seconds remaining, we have the inbound going to the side of the Blue Eagles. Here's Intal. Intal, look at those big steps of his. The shot.
Too easy.
The last moment. You know, when Ateneo playing 1 second seems to be an eternity of basketball. But should be an interesting halftime discussion in both locker rooms. Let's check out this Nokia best play of the quarter. And JC Intal trying to zip up his team, perk them up already with 16 points, but not enough to turn the tide against a rampaging Raleigh Tiger Brigade ahead by 10 at the turn. Back in a moment.